Hello, this is Lisa Russick, Dear Diary. And, Dear Diary, I haven't written in you again for a long time. I've got a lot on my mind today. It's all good stuff. I've been thinking about how we all keep learning and keep saying that on the podcast. Everybody who's on the podcast is like, right now I'm learning this. Right now I'm learning that. And it's all this magical stuff. Juju. They're learning about their energy diary. Oh, and I'm so tired today. I'm learning about my energy all the time still. Seems like it just gets faster and more intense at times. Other times it's just like, yeah, I need a break, dude. And you get it, break. You actually get it. You actually get it. It's wonderful. Diary. Listen, no, not listeners. Diary. You know, the podcast, We're All Psychic with Misty. I want you to know what a good friend Misty has become in my life. Because of her, and because of a lot of other things, I believe in God now. Guess you could say of my form of a higher power or creator. I don't know. But I do believe in a God now. And my boyfriend has a lot to do with that. Oh, diary, yeah, we got back together again. I love him. Oh, I just decided, I didn't decide, I had an epiphany about him. I was pushing him away and pushing him away. People talk about twin flames a lot in my industry and in my interests and with people I know. We talk about the magic and the juju and the psychic. You hear about twin flames. I don't know if I've ever had a twin flame situation, but from what I understand, they're not fun. And usually, because someone runs and someone chases. And I wondered if this is what was going on, but what was really going on is I really wanted this kind of love before in my life, and I never really had it. And I didn't like the vulnerable part, so I kept trying to shut it down. And by it, I meant the vulnerable, because I was so vulnerable. But then I just decided, he doesn't hurt me. Like, he doesn't go out of his way. He's never going to take that vulnerability, and he's never done it anyway. I don't think he will. I've known the guy for 13 years. It's a long time now. And he's not going to take my vulnerabilities and take advantage of me. And I know it. So that was my epiphany. And I don't know about twin flames and running and chasing. But if that's going on to somebody, that's what's going on here. I'm not going to run anymore. Nah. But anyway, that's part of learning love. Love is a part of the energy. If you're loving, you're learning energy. You're working with it actively, I think. Because the truth of it is, for me personally, diary, it is to love. It is to feel love. Divine love. All the love in the world. Within me. For the world. Too. It's hard to explain, but it does happen. Everybody's felt that way at some point. But back to learning and back to Misty. She has taught me more than anyone I've ever met about the energy. She'd be surprised by that if I said that, maybe, but probably not, because she knows. She knows. And she's going through some very ups and downs right now, and I love her, and I hope she's okay, but she's the strongest woman I know. I know she'd be alright. She expresses her emotions, she expresses her feelings, she expresses herself. And I admire that too. It taught me how to express myself better. So that's another way of working with the energy too. And learning. Learning how to embrace parts of my life that I just kind of ignored. Through example of my best friend. It's really cool. She has a really great family, and she adores them, and her girls call her all the time. One of them needs to call more often. We're not going to talk about that, diary. That's somebody else's business. I think we have talked about it on the podcast before, though. I mean, in the diary before. So, something new I'm learning. Oh, my neighbors are loud. They stomping around up there. So something I learned, diary, is about this blue moon we have tonight. It's a manifestation moon, and I learned that on the new moon in Leo, and this moon is in Pisces. So on the new moon, I made an intention. I burned a candle, and my intention, and this is how moons work with you. If you work with the moon cycles, this is one way to work with them. For this Leo moon, it was during the Lion's Gate. And I set the intention to find my true home, whatever that may be. And throughout the 2 weeks till the blue moon tonight, August 30th, 2023, it's a super moon too. I am going to do a ritual that my friend Melanie made for me to find my home. I'll talk about it some other time, maybe diary afterwards, because I don't really know what to expect. But I'm really ready, and I'm so happy to do it. The intention was set on the new moon, and then I talked with Melanie, who I had not talked to in a long time. She did the Past Lives podcast diary, if you remember that, and some witchcraft ones. And she's an amazing witch. She really is, because I got this ritual that she wrote and gave me all these things to do with it, and how to do it, and what it's for. And she wrote these words that she says she is but the messenger. But she made these words just so they're mine. It's hard to explain. It was amazing. I didn't know those were my words, but that's the words I was looking for. Those are the ones. And I'm going to do a ritual and ask a deity to help. So yes, of course I believe in God and I believe in deities. How does that work? I'm learning. I feel like deities are masters, ascended masters, or saints, or angels are. I guess they too could be classified this way. They're not in service to us as like servitude. They like it. They have fun with it. Like my spirit guides crack up all the time. They're very funny and but they understand the seriousness of the human experience. Little off topic, but so I'm going to ask this deity to help me find my home, and it has to do with the hawks. If you've been reading my diary, that the hawks I've been seeing, and I did see one today. Interestingly enough, it's a brown hawk, and I had been seeing black hawks. And so yes, this is going to happen, and I am very much anticipating letting go of that intention. So this is what we do on the full moon, if you do it this way. You let the intention out. So over the 2 weeks, your intention works or doesn't work, depending on how you focus on it. Over those 2 weeks, I had my epiphany about my boyfriend. And I also realized I've been really too defensive with everybody. Well, that was my boyfriend texting me, if you heard him. He's probably going to do it again, so I mute my phone. I love it when he texts me. I don't think it'll matter, diary, because it's just a diary. Nobody can hear a ding through a diary, right? Right. When my intention is released, we'll see what happens next. I'm hoping I'll have direction as to what my home is and where. If it's a real physical place, I don't know. I think it'd have to be something intangible, really. Kind of something unexpressible of the feeling of home. I don't think it's a place. I think it's a person or a sensation. I had a good home growing up, diary, and I always felt safe there. You know what? I really think that if we weren't always learning, the energy would get stagnant. And I think that maybe why people don't work with it anymore, because it's not something that you're educated about as a child all the time. We. Some of my friends who are professionals or interested in this stuff, they do. They let their child talk about it, and their child does. It's just casual for them to hear about it and talk about it. And they learn. I'm seeing this with friends who have younger children who are interested. They like the smoking sage and they love the rocks. Diary, if you ever give a kid a pendulum and tell them how to use it, they'll be the happiest kid. Pendulum always works for a kid diary. My boyfriend texting me again. I love it. You know, love is home. Love is home. Home is love. And I've been keeping my heart so close to love for a long time. If you remember when Misty and I talked about how Misty and I started doing podcasts together, she had a message. And her message was, pursue the podcast. And I said to her, I'd done a reading for her and I'd taken a tarot class, but I don't talk to people about my inner stuff, ever. And I had never had a phone conversation with Misty, but I told her, I've never told anyone this, but I really want to tell you this. I said, I don't think I've ever felt love, like, for myself from two other people. It was hard to explain. I was telling her it's like blocked. I had it a long time ago. So I can't feel love. I couldn't feel emotions of love and joy, and especially romantic love and love in like a vulnerable way, and any kind of friendships or anything, and family and anything. It was just gone. I just couldn't feel it. So that has been what this experience with the podcast diary has been a very big ride and road for me. For all of us these last few years. It's been just, wow, how things change fast. And it's going to be a beautiful blue moon. And from what I've read, how close it's going to be and everything and the timing is pretty unusual. I think I read it next time this particular type of thing will happen. It's 1937. I remember the last time it happened. I remember the first time it happened, I was at Joni's house in Huntsville, and she lived there. It was a super blue moon. The second one was, I think, 2012. I don't know. All those nights were really special, but that one that I saw, I remember them saying it was going to be a really long time. Maybe I have only seen one. That moon was the brightest moon I'd ever seen, and I wished on it so bad about Sam. Like, let me know what Sam is. Let me find him if he's a person. Let me understand what all this stuff is about going on for me. I was 24. I begged the moon, that bright moon, to teach me. Maybe it did. Maybe it will tonight, and maybe it will for all of us. Thank you so much for always being there and listening. Being there to write in diary. I know I can confide in you. You won't tell anyone. Peace out.